Have you ever felt like the world just keeps saying no to you? No to your dreams, your plans, your potential? If that sounds familiar, stop right here. Because this isn't just the story of a billionaire. It's the story of someone who failed again and again, someone who got rejected so often that most people would have quit. But he didn't. Jack Ma, a man who had every reason to give up, simply said, "I'll try again tomorrow." That's what makes this story powerful. It's not about money. It's about grit, about believing when no one else does. So, if you've ever felt invisible, powerless, or not good enough, this story might just change how you see yourself, because this next few minutes could light a fire inside you that never goes out. His real name? Ma Yun, born in Hangzhou, China, in 1964, not into wealth or privilege, but into a modest home without a TV, a car, or anything fancy. He was small, frail, and never considered special. But what set him apart was curiosity. While most kids played, he asked questions about the world, about language, about people beyond China. At just 12, he began riding his old bicycle every morning to the city's only hotel that welcomed foreign tourists, not for money, not for fame, just to talk, to practice English. He did this every single day, for 9 years, just to learn. But he wasn't a great student. In fact, he failed his exams more than once. Middle school? Failed twice. High school? Failed 3 times. Even the college entrance exam? Failed twice. In a country where test scores define your future, these failures were crushing. But Jack didn't break. On his 3rd try, he finally got in. Hangzhou Teachers Institute, majoring in English. After graduation, things didn't get easier. He applied to 30 jobs. Rejected by all. The police turned him away. KFC hired 23 people, except him. One hotel said he wasn't good-looking enough, that he talked too much, that he lacked the right skills. But instead of quitting, Jack said just one thing: "I'll find my own way." While guiding some tourists around his hometown, Jack became close to an American family. They struggled to pronounce Ma Yun, so they gave him a nickname, Jack. That small change marked a new chapter. Through them, Jack learned more about the world, about possibilities far beyond China's borders. Inspired, he began dreaming bigger. He applied to Harvard, not once, not twice, 10 times, and every single time, the answer was no. But Jack didn't sulk. He laughed and said, "Even if Harvard doesn't want me, maybe the world still does." Years later, at the age of 31, Jack saw the internet for the very first time. It wasn't magical at first glance. It was just a screen. But what he typed changed everything. The word beer. He saw results from America, Germany, but nothing from China. Curious, he searched China. Still, barely anything showed up. That night, Jack couldn't sleep. He sat by the window, eyes wide open, thinking, how can a country of over 1 billion people have no presence online? That moment hit hard. Maybe China wasn't on the internet because no one had put it there yet. Maybe the person to change that wasn't someone else. Maybe it could be him. Sure, he didn't understand coding. He had no clue how websites worked. But he recognized something bigger. There was a gap, and where there's a gap, there's an opportunity. After returning to China, Jack had one mission: bring Chinese businesses online. He borrowed $2,000 from friends and launched his first startup, China Pages. The goal was simple but visionary: help small companies build websites and connect with the world. But the timing wasn't right. Back then, few people had even seen a computer, let alone trusted the internet. Many thought it was a scam. Shop owners laughed, saying, "Who would ever buy something from a screen?" Jack knocked on door after door, trying to explain the future. But China wasn't ready. Rules were unclear. Support was minimal. And trust? Almost non-existent. China pages struggled and eventually failed. But Jack didn't call it a loss. He called it a lesson. "Good," he said. "One thing didn't work. I'll try another." By 1999, he was 35 years old, still carrying the fire of his dream. One day, he invited 17 friends to his small apartment in Hangzhou. There were no chairs, no fancy office, just the floor, some snacks, and one bold vision. Jack stood and said, "I'm starting a company. It will help Chinese businesses reach the global market. I'm calling it Alibaba." The name? Familiar, magical, easy to remember. "Open sesame," he explained. "We'll open doors for small businesses." His friends were intrigued, some excited, some skeptical, but 18 of them became Alibaba's first believers. There was no money, no tech infrastructure, and no investors lining up. But Jack had something money couldn't buy: a group of people crazy enough to believe in the impossible. In those early days, Alibaba had no fancy office, no plush chairs, and certainly no salaries. The team worked out of Jack's tiny apartment, eating cheap noodles, sleeping on the floor, and pouring every ounce of energy into a dream. There was no comfort, but there was belief. Jack treated his team like family. "If we have only one bowl of rice," he once said, "we'll share it." That wasn't a quote. It was a way of life. When money started to run low, Jack knocked on the doors of more than 10 banks. All of them said no. Too risky. No clear plan. Not enough potential. But Jack didn't lose hope. He kept pitching, kept refining, kept going. Then came a turning point. In 2000, Jack met Masayoshi Son, the founder of SoftBank. The meeting lasted just 5 minutes. Jack spoke with passion, with vision, with fire. At the end of it, Son said, "I'll invest $20 million in your company." Jack was stunned. "You don't want to see my business plan?" he asked. Son smiled and replied, "I'm not investing in a plan. I'm investing in the person." He had no money, no connections, and no tech skills, just a dream and relentless spirit. But now, with one believer and $20 million, Jack Ma was about to change the course of history. Want to know how he beat eBay, launched an empire, and became China's most powerful entrepreneur? Subscribe to Made It Anyway, and don't miss Part 2. From underdog to internet legend.